Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Get ready for a ride through a bunch of angry Karens as we get into the I Don't Work Here Lady stories of the day. Our first story is by Sean J222. Lady, I work for the police, not Target. I want to share a story. A few years back I worked as a police dispatcher. We were required to dress in business casual, so khakis and a button-down or polo. I'm assuming you've read the title and see where this is going. So after work one day, the GF and I stopped by Target on the way home to grab a few things. I'm wearing, you guessed it, a red polo and khaki pants. I also have an ID badge in my belt denoting Communicator, Joe Schmo Police Department. Grabbed some olive oil, brought to my girlfriend who told me she got some a few days ago. So I go back to the olive oil aisle and put it back. I put it back in its proper place because I'm not an inconsiderate a-hole. Anywho, lady comes up to me and asks where she can find some brand dog food. I just thought she was asking for my opinion, gave her a general direction. She went off. Like 5 minutes later, I'm looking at Harry's razors and I feel someone poke me on my shoulder. I turn and find the lady standing there looking displeased. My dog food wasn't where you said it was. Well, I don't know, I guess ask someone who works here. I am. You. No, don't work here. Turns and looks away. Yes you do, you were stocking shelves. Yeah, don't talk to me. Lady grabs my arm and pulls me to her face. You ever get a sudden flare of anger? I did, which touched me. Young man, I'm a customer and you'd better… Don't you freaking touch me. My voice was a little raised now. Touch me again? You and I are gonna have a problem. She was obviously taken aback. She said something about me being fired and a manager. She scurried away. I found my girlfriend and we went to check out. At this point, it still hadn't really clicked that she thought I worked there. I just thought she was rude. We get to the self-checkout and lady with a Target employee approaching me and my girlfriend. That's him, that's your stock boy whom threatened me. What the freak? I don't work here, lady, leave me the freak alone. Manager looking nonplussed. You don't work here. No, this chick started bothering me then grabs me. Girlfriend says he doesn't work here. Don't you lie to me, you were stocking shelves and told me where to get dog food. Leave me alone or we're gonna have real problems. How about I call the police and tell them how you just threatened me? I freaking dare you. I show her my ID badge. Let's see how that works out for you. I should mention the police department I work for is in the same town as the Target. The manager takes the opportunity and just says, "Have a nice evening," and motions the woman away and she follows. She just sort of gaped at me when she saw that I was in fact not an employee of Target, but of the police department she was going to call on me. Not a big story with fireworks, but still one to tell. Moral, beware wearing red polos and stay thirsty, my friends. Does anybody else notice that when you read these stories or you hear these kinds of stories, the next time you go to stores, you're kind of hyper aware of the situation? You start like over analyzing, oh, what am I wearing? Could I get mistaken as an employee here? I better avoid doing anything that looks like I might be stocking a shelf or whatever. Has anybody else kind of noticed that? Let me know in the comments below if I'm going crazy or not. Our next story is by ultimatedra, my recent interaction at Home Depot. So I would like to preface that I was wearing jeans and an orange shirt with a Charmander on it. So I would say I understand why these people might have thought I was an employee. I was at Home Depot last week getting some cheap plastic shelves for my game room to put my gaming stuff on. The store was next to empty because of COVID and it was still early in the morning on a Tuesday, so I figured there were less people working as well. No matter, I am an adult who can locate what I am looking for just fine because Home Depot's website and app gave exact aisles and bay locations. Seriously, it's a very user-friendly website. So I go to the aisle for my shelves and notice the bay location is at the very top shelf of what seems like a 3-story building. I personally was about to look for someone to help me, but then I noticed a rolling ladder that had specific instructions on how to use it and no sign or notice it was for employees only. So I took the ladder to get the item I want to purchase. As I am climbing the ladder, I then became in view of a couple who were looking for an employee, so they came over to me while on the ladder, but I had not noticed they were there as my back was turned to them, grabbing my item. They jokingly said, "It is difficult to find you guys." I heard them and figured they were talking to someone else. Then they said, "Hey, you on the ladder, can you help us?" I turned around and said, "Sorry, I don't work here, but the website is super helpful and will tell you what aisle whatever you are looking for is in." To that, they responded to me, "If you don't work here, why are you using the ladder?" I had got my items to purchase, so I got down and placed them in my cart and explained to them that the ladder didn't say it was for employees only, so I used it to get my items. They got the most quizzical look on their face because I somehow broke their thinking that ladders can be used by other people. Being a nice guy, I showed them on the website how to locate the item they were looking for, as I personally had done myself. As I was putting the ladder back where I found it, I wished them a good day and hope they locate their items all right. As I walked away with my cart of items, I could hear the woman say to the guy, "How does he know so much about the store if he doesn't work here?" And the guy replied to her, "I guess he just shops here a lot. I heard of people who come to Home Depot every day even if they don't have something to buy." I tried not to laugh at that final comment, as this was only the third time in my life going to Home Depot. Sometimes the progression of technology is scary, and then sometimes you hear, "Hey, Home Depot updated their app so that you can just find where anything is in the store." And I'm just like, well, that is genius. Now I irrationally want to go shop at Home Depot, so they're doing something right. Our next story is by Harley 1995 Quinn. Retail workers wear scrubs, right? I work in community care for aged and disability. My uniform is blue with the well-known company name and logo on it, as well as I wear scrub bottoms with the top, as well as I have my staff ID with several nursing cue cards and tools. Sometimes we do shopping with or for clients, and I regularly am mistaken as staff. Recently, I went into Kohl's to do some shopping for 2 clients. I grabbed a trolley and wiped it down with the supplied cleansing wipes, and a woman approaches me and stands there waiting. I'm confused as to why she's watching me. When I'm done, she reaches out to take my trolley, and I don't really say anything but give her a weird look. "Oh, was someone else waiting for this one before me?" "What? Aren't you cleaning trolleys for customers?" "No, I'm cleaning it for myself." "Oh, do you work here?" "No." A little bit of an abrupt ending to the story, but the message is very clear. If you're going to a retail store, why would you assume somebody in scrubs is working there? Yes, the pandemic is bad, but it's not to the point where employees of retail stores are wearing scrubs like they're some kind of prepared medical employee ready for the next COVID skin-melting infection or something. They'll just wear a mask, they'll wear gloves, and either an outfit or something that looks business casually, probably. Our next story is by ZDC. Target employees wear red shirts. I used to work at a restaurant and my dress code was a white button-down shirt, black pants, and black shoes. One night after work, probably around 10 p.m., I went to Target for a few things I needed since I was already in the area. Note, I was still in my work clothes and even left my name tag on that has the name and logo of the restaurant. Doesn't look anything like a Target name tag. As I'm walking through Target, with my wallet and car keys in my hand, this lady stops me to ask where she could find whatever she was looking for. I said, "I have no clue, I don't work here." She then replies, "Obviously you do, you're in uniform." I looked down at my clothing and pointed to my name tag. "Ma'am, I do not work here, I work at restaurant. I can't help you." I continue to shop in that aisle and she gets frustrated and then says I'm playing dumb and I was being lazy for not doing my job and not wanting to help her. At this point, I'm trying to step away from the situation and continue to get my things as it's near closing time. A Target employee then walks by and she stops him and asks, "Could you tell your coworker to do her freaking job?" And he looks around like, "Who?" And she points me out and says, "Ma'am, she doesn't work here." And this lady goes, "Then why the heck is she in uniform?" He simply tells her that Target employees wear red shirts and to quit harassing other customers and goes about his night. The look on this lady's face was hilarious. Her face almost got as red as his shirt. No, there is no way in this cosmic universe that anyone can wear a polo shirt at Target without being an employee. And a name tag? No, you have to work for this Target. You see how ridiculous that sounds? The next story is by Sanity Demise 09. You were rude, now you get to think about the consequences. This one sort of fits here, but the person didn't exactly pick me out as someone who worked there, but still asked for help after being a jerk. I was at an Ace Hardware store to buy some soil. This store is in a small shopping complex, so they have all of their bags of soil and mulch, etc. in the parking lot across from their door. I'm waiting in line to pay for my soil, with about 15 to 20 other people also waiting to check out with one cashier. She is obviously very busy and stressed. The whole store is packed and crazy busy. Karen comes in from outside with an obvious attitude and lays into the cashier. "I'm still waiting for someone to help me load my car with the stuff I already paid for. You said someone would be out and now I've been parked here blocking traffic and you didn't send anyone. I want help now." Mind you, there's about 6 parking spots right by where the outside stuff is, so her sitting in her car blocking traffic is 100% her fault. Cashier is so polite and apologizes and reminds her that everyone is busy helping other customers and are aware she still needs help, but that she will page someone again for her. Karen stomps out. I get through the line, pay for my soil, grab my bag from the parking lot, and toss it in my truck. Karen is still out there blocking traffic and has the nerve to ask me for help. "Excuse me, I only have 3 bags I needed loaded. Do you think you could help get them in my car?" Oh, really? Karen's about to have her day. I tell her, "Well, I am capable of helping you, but based on how you just treated that poor girl at the cash register, I am not willing to. I guess you're going to have to wait this one out." I wanted to lay into her just like she did the cashier, but I was polite and left it at more of a "I'm disappointed in you" moment. She scoffed and said, "Are you serious?" I roll. "Yes, ma'am, as a heart attack. It'll give you some time to think about your treatment of others." I definitely don't pity employees during the pandemic. I'm not even sure if this was during the pandemic. Either way, I don't blame anybody that works at a very busy store that isn't staffed appropriately. Anybody that's really working there, unless they are directly rude to me before I even say anything, I just try to be respectful. I think it's good to just be a decent human being, you know? Yeah, inconveniences happen, but if it's not directly the person's fault, if it's busy the staff are working, what can you do? It doesn't help anybody being rude, antagonistic, putting people down, yelling, whatever. And moving on to our final story of the day, it's written by Alyksandur. I'm not a lawn mowing service. This one actually happened last year, but it was short enough that I still remember it pretty clearly. I live in a very small town where everybody can more or less recognize everybody else by sight, if not by name, so I have no idea what this lady's excuse is. I was out mowing my lawn, headphones on and music up loud enough to hear over the engine. Note that a set of double railroad tracks runs right through the middle of the city. It's not unusual for both streets that cross it to be blocked for a few hours by a parked train, as was the case on the day in question. But there's an overpass less than a quarter mile up the road. I realized after a couple of mowing passes that there's been a Mustang stopped at the stop sign by the house for probably a good minute and a half. The driver, too young to be a proper Karen but definitely training for it, is looking in my general direction, but at first I think she's just looking at the train and trying to figure out how to get around it. But no, she's looking at me. So I turn the mower off and take off my headphones. I figure she just wants to ask me if there's a way around the train since we're sandwiched between 2 state routes, and it's a question I've been asked a few times before. I suck with names, so I'm just gonna stick with the basics. Me and her. Need something? I was wondering, if you're mowing lawns, would you be willing to do mine once a week for $10? Not what I was expecting, but hey, I've heard worse offers. I use mowing for both exercise and time to hide in my own thoughts for a while. I decide to at least poke at it a bit. I'm mowing my lawn. I live here, but maybe. Depends on the yard and how local you are. Oh, I'm just up on street. At this point, I recognize her car, so I know roughly where she lives. Her lawn is probably 2 acres and made of hills. I don't need that much exercise or me time. Sorry, but no, that's... Her interrupting and huffing. What, is $10 not enough? Kids these days, honestly. When I was in high school, I would have been happy to earn an extra $10 a week. I'm not a kid. I'm 6'3", and while I do look young for my age, I was in my mid-40s at the time. Sure, I was wearing one of my old technical college t-shirts, but my mustache and goatee are starting to go gray for crying out loud. Me, after looking at her for a moment, "Pardon me, but how old are you?" Her sneering, "I don't see what that has to do with anything, but I'm 26. Me sighs and eye rolls, "Kid, I was out of high school before your parents ever freaked." I still kinda feel bad about being the one to initiate cursing, but it definitely got her attention. Yay for precision F strikes, I guess. And with that, I put my headphones back on and started the mower while she was just inarticulately sputtering at me. I'm pretty sure she tried saying something else, but it was lost to the engine noise and music. Now, I've heard plenty of stories where Karens confuse people for being an employee at an establishment, or a park ranger, or a police officer. It's not too common that someone has to explain that they're not working at their own house. Also, I'm with OP. I mow my own yard, and it's good exercise, but a hilly 2-acre yard for $10? No thank you. But with that being said, that's all the stories we have for today. So if you want to let me know which of these stories that I read for you today was your personal favorite and why, do so in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video and you want to help support it, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't. Both of those things are invaluable to helping the channel's growth. So no matter what you did, whether it was a like, whether you subscribed, or whether you merely watched the video, thank you so much for supporting the Storytime channel. It all means a lot to me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.